welcome to another installment of Tag Me In, where the triple threat brain trust a tag go over the good, bad, everything in professional wrestling. I, of course, am the enthusiastic Lip Dizzle, joined with none other than the less than stealthy unicorn himself, Mr. Scoot. Oh, sorry, no. Tag's favorite champion, ScooterRay.
Game over. Just game over. Game over.
And of course, ladies of the IWC, a heartthrob of the community.
Yep.
Mr. Jaeger Bombastic. So fantastic. If he had his own ASMR channel, you'd be returning back to back to back to back.
To back.
Facts are facts, guys. I can't really argue them.
Well, that's bars. That was bars on top of that. Facts on facts.
Facts on facts.
I'm very happy about the Saturday Night Dynamite.
Okay.
I'm very happy. On top of that, I feel like they gave me what I wanted at the end, just to combat against Scoot's enthusiastic response on NXT. I felt like the way that it came off, it was. Oh, my bad. It was.
So
That's Kiss.
So I did want it to address NXT's Tag Me In. I do want to formally apologize to my two co-hosts here. Because not only was I over enthusiastic, but some say I might have been a little antagonistic. And maybe a little bit of an agitator. Clearly, my two co-hosts were not happy with the events of what went down at NXT, but I was. So I formally want to say, next time I will do a better job of antagonizing and irritation. Obviously, I didn't do the best job I should have done. You know, I cranked the dial to 10. I should have cranked it on 11 and broke it.
Interesting.
Next time, I will do better, guys. I will do better.
So you're apologizing that you didn't do more?
Yes. Yes.
I was about to accept this apology, but fuck all that.
No, I was apologizing that I should have went a little harder. The amount of joy I had watching this episode back, especially the way the episode ended. Like the way the episode ended was just If y'all didn't see that episode, it was just one of the greatest episodes to me personally.
Yeah, for you.
Oh yeah, for me personally. For you. Oh no. It was known that I had to ham it in because y'all two were not happy with this Diamond Mine thing.
No.
So
still
I had to ham it in. But next time, I promise y'all better. I can't do it this episode because you know who is not with this company. But next time.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff that's been going on within professional wrestling. Primarily WWE. I think everybody knows that. You know, we're just gonna jump into the scoops. Scoop.
Yeah, I mean, basically, we was gonna do like a hot tag, but we can kind of do it within this. So WWE announced more releases.
A lot.
They didn't do it Wednesday, but They released a lot, and it was primarily NXT focused. They've already fired one of the new writers that they just hired. If I forget any names, remind me. But Killian Dane has been released. Brazungo, yes, both of them have been released. Tyler Breeze and Fandango. Tino Sabatelli, which his was unique because he was fired, then hired, now fired again.
Yeah.
Marina Shafir and Arturo Ruas, which was interesting because both of them were supposed to be part of Diamond Mine.
Really?
Yes.
Huh.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Arturo Ruas has said on the podcast that he was originally supposed to be a member, and Marina was supposed to come in a little bit later as like a female enforcer.
Interesting.
So both of them has been released. August Gray and Kurt Stallion have been released. The Bollywood Boys or the Singh brothers have been released. Who am I forgetting? I'm forgetting somebody.
It was like half of 205 Live.
Everrise. We will officially address them properly. Everrise has been released.
That's unfortunate. I wanted something to hate on NXT. I mean, we got the Diamond Mine, so
Tony Nese, Arya Davari, they have all been released. And I want to say that might be it. I might be forgetting one or two names, but it was a lot of people.
Yeah, I didn't realize Tino Sabatelli was actually released.
Yeah. He was kind of one of the ones they kind of, I guess, quietly did. And then, too, in Killian Dane's case, he got the phone call while he was actually working out at the Performance Center.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's shitty.
Yeah, he was actually working out at the Performance Center and got the phone call that he's been released. So of course the conversation, Mr. Deasley, which was what was the topic was going to be?
As far as for Hot Tag, yeah, basically, are these releases getting out of hand? Now, of course, you have the whole talking point of budget cuts, and a lot of fingers are being pointed at Nick Khan as far as throughout the community, and you have WWE playing damage control, stating that he wasn't a part of this, and it's weird because I find that very hard to believe, especially when you state that the reason for these releases are budget cuts. Mm-hmm. So now on top of that, with that, my thing is this, is that if you are concerned about the budget, then why is it that all of these competitors that you are releasing still have no compete clauses? Because you still have to pay them during those 90 days. So it doesn't make any sense. It's like, if there are budget cuts, then the non-compete should be null and void. You should allow them to just go. Well, it should be optional, so to speak, because you never want to sit there and say, you know what, hey, you're done, get out of here. But if there should be an option where it's like, okay, do you want to just forego the pay and just abolish the non-compete, or do you want to continue getting paid through your 90 days?
Yeah,
but they're not getting that option, and that doesn't scream budget cut-ish to me. On top of that, I'm pretty sure if I'm not wrong, 2020 was their most profitable year.
It was, in between the Peacock deal, in between the
Fox
government,
deal,
in between the government funding that they got, they made a lot of money.
They got government funding.
Yeah, they did.
Got government funding.
And you have Nick Khan being the one that one did the Fox deal, did the Peacock deal, and both were $1 billion a piece. Mm-hmm. So that's a lot of money. Mm-hmm. So you're telling me that all these people that have contracts and all the releases that have happened between this weekend and the previous Black Wednesday or Black Thursday
all year.
Yeah. So how much money are you trying to conserve? Especially when you have Eva Marie coming in with the new contract, you're able to employ new writers, which we'll definitely get into that in a second too. I'm not really understanding
I
because
honestly think because I did see an article that Nick Khan was saying, if you want to put the blame on him, that's fine. He's willing to, take whatever responsibilities for these recent cuts. The biggest issue about the cuts, because let's really truly talk about it. The cuts are and aren't the issue because we've seen many companies do things like this before. We've seen companies, hey, they're restructuring, so they fire umpteen employees. The issue to me personally is not the cuts. The issue to me was y'all sat there and tried to hoard all of these wrestlers.
Yep.
And now when it's the realization that, we really didn't need all these people. So, that was the main issue. The fact that y'all tried to hoard everybody. And now, y'all was toying with people's careers in a sense. Because I ain't gonna say it's almost like a paid hostage situation. So y'all sat there and hoard all these people, didn't do nothing with them, and now it's like, y'all can go now.
Basically.
Not only that, you're keeping them from getting paid elsewhere for 90 days.
And that's it.
This whole situation, and of course, I'm never gonna go back on what I said before. Just like I said previously, I said, if you're not gonna use any of this talent, let them go and do what they love, and I still stand by that. But just to piggyback off of what you said, Scoop, the whole deal of just them trying to purge the indies and just take all the talent so that way nobody else gets them is just completely nonsensical, especially when you think about everything that they've done with the people that they've acquired. You have more people sitting in catering and on the bench and on the sideline while they continuously use the same people over and over and over again. Case in point, Raw. Raw is the biggest outlier in all that because of the fact that rematch after rematch, they're not pushing any new talent, and any talent that they do try to push is used as enhancement talent for squash matches.
Yep.
So it's just, why'd you get them in the first place? I don't understand it at all, and it's easy to blame Nick Khan, obviously, but I think the whole company as a is at fault. Like they're just, and you know what? Fuck it. We're gonna dive into it now.
We're going to dive into it. Let's go.
Let's do it.
So yeah, this writer that if I can pull up her name because I had
Kenise. I forgot the last name. I know it's like Kenise something.
Oh, Kenise Mobley.
This man's credentials.
Thank you.
Kenise Mobley. Okay, so now I'm not gonna be mad at her. In certain case, I mean, there's part of me that's mad about her not doing the necessary research.
Yes,
and I looked at that portion of the of her podcast interview.
Well, hold on. Yeah, do you know what happened with her or why she got fired so fast?
No.
Okay, well, she was one of the new writers that they recently hired like 2 weeks ago. And she recently did a podcast saying about how she was hired on WWE. And then she was like, I'm not really too familiar with the product, but since it's basically treated as a TV show, that's why I was hired. And she said, yeah, I think the world champion's name is Bobby Ashley or Bobby Lashley. She was like, I really should know this. And I know that he's like I know he's like the big black guy that wears suits and he's with a group called the Hurt Business or something. So basically, yeah, she ousted herself on this podcast.
She outed herself that she knew nothing.
And basically, and she was cut before she could probably even put pen to paper.
Yeah, she ousted herself and she ousted the company because even she had went on to say that, you know, that they even said that she didn't have to have any experience as far as or knowledge of the company or professional wrestling. And you know, even the interviewer the interviewer had some knowledge of wrestling, not much, but he had some. And he even asked her questions about, you know, you remember this? And she's like, no, I've never watched the product, nothing. You know, she didn't know about this, know about that, anything. And
hey guys, you want to go apply to be writers?
Yes.
We could,
because apparently anybody can.
Yeah, basically. I mean, it's probably gonna change now, but
damn well better.
The issue about it the only issue that I have with her is just how nonchalant she was when she talked about it.
Yeah,
I'm not getting mad at her for taking the job and being employed, but the way that she came off, like she didn't seem like she respected the business at all, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of my issues. Now, as far as WWE being ousted by her, this her removing the veil. This is the reason. Like the universe did this. You know, she was put in a position where she completely unveiled the elephant in the room when it comes to WWE, because we've all criticized the creative, the writing, the character, just all of it. And this is why. Because they hire people that have no knowledge of the company, no knowledge of professional wrestling, and are put in positions that's supposed to captivate people who have more knowledge than the people that they employ. And now WWE went on to say that she wasn't let go because of that. They said she was let go because, and I quote, internal concern. Yet she was not let go until this controversy came into play. Once people started, once the backlash happened, automatically let go. So how is it that this interview happened, but at the same time she had internal concerns? You just hired this person. You literally just hired this person. So if there was internal concerns, then that would mean that you wouldn't even take the time to employ somebody like that, because it doesn't make sense, because you do background checks on everybody, I'm assuming.
Right.
So something should have been a red flag before you said, hey, I'm going to give you this contract to do this job. So to me, the only thing that could have been the case in this is the fact that she outed your company for employing people that don't have any experience or knowledge within the business.
Doesn't watch the product.
Nothing.
Doesn't know the champion's name. The big black guy with the suit.
Basically.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, I remember Freddie Prinze Jr. when he did the New Day podcast. They asked him, you know, how did that happen of him becoming a writer? And he was basically saying, like, it literally, from the way Freddie Prinze Jr. made it sound like, he made it sound like, in a nutshell, I was at the shows. They was like, hey, come backstage. They want to holler at you. Yo, we know who you are. You want a job? Sure. That's kind of like that's kind of literally, in a nutshell, seemed like the way he got hired as a writer. But luckily, it was twofold for him, because he was also giving them acting lessons at the same time.
Yeah. True.
But for the most part, it just seemed like they just recognized who he was. Hey, you want a job? Okay, let's do it. So
yeah, but the good thing on him is that, you know, he actually had interest in the company as well, so he knew what was going on. So I mean, that I put him in the same category as, like, you know, David Arquette. You know, David Arquette has a love for professional wrestling. You know, now, you know, WCW stuff aside, with him being champion, legit, you know, whatever. But, you know, with this situation, yeah, there would be no point where I would look at this situation and be like, you know what, I respect Kenice Mobley. You know, I mean, not that we would even have a chance to.
no disrespect to her as a person,
Mhm.
but she was definitely hired for the wrong job.
Well, I think personally, I respected her because she was a black woman, and to get a black woman in there, okay, let's see what she could do.
Yeah.
But literally, to have zero knowledge,
Zero.
you know, to be slightly controversial, which I'm gonna take a little bit from Jaeger thing. To be slightly controversial, that's like reality stars becoming president. But
Ah.
uh, but yeah, like you know, could she like it was like what? Could you name 10 wrestlers and boom, you got the job? Like what was the like really like, what happened here?
And how are those 10 not Bobby Lashley, or at least one of them is?
I don't know.
I mean, my thing about it is that you know what, like she could have easily treated this like how Disney and MCU treat their stuff, with how they do Marvel movies, is that she could have faked it till she made it. And I mean, and now this is where it's her fault. She could have just easily said, you know what, yeah, I just got hired by WWE as a writer. Bam, that's it.
Yep.
And that could have been where it stopped. She didn't have to out herself as far as like, hey, I don't know this, I don't know that, whatever. She could have just easily said, you know what, I'm learning more about the product now, that I ever knew before, which is not a lie, because if she didn't know if she didn't know anything, then yeah, that's true. That's a very true statement. I'm learning more now than I did before.
Yes.
Completely simple.
Could have gotten a little political with your comment, with your statement.
Absolutely. And then she could have went about her day, and she could have been hired, and she could have actually probably done some good. Who knows what she could have come up with? She could be that much of a creative person. But between her and WWE, everybody's wrong in their own right within this situation here. So, yeah, hopefully this is a learning experience, not only for her, but mainly for WWE to get their ducks in a row. Now, I would hope that with all these releases that's going on, with all this cleaning house, that they're doing this for a reason that's going to make the product better.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to be the case, because I truly think that things are only going to get worse as this year progresses. But, stranger things have happened.
Well, I mean, and let's truly be honest with you. With any company, no companies tend to kind of change until the competition ramps up. So personally, I don't see WWE changing too much, because once again, they're still getting roughly 1 million views per Raw and SmackDown. I mean, let's just take NXT completely out.
Yeah.
Raw and SmackDown is still getting million plus reviews. I mean, not reviews, million plus views. The YouTube is getting hundreds of thousands of clicks per story segment. So obviously, why change? Why fix what's broken?
Yeah. That's the worst part of it, is that it's almost like somebody who's oblivious to their wrongdoing, like they can't take accountability because they can't see it. And that's the position that they're in, because they can hear everybody talk shit about the quality of the company, but the metrics and the statistic and the analytics of it show different, which is very sad. So now, of course, we'll definitely get into the competition in AEW later on, but yeah, that's going to be prime example, because I think personally, with the way AEW is going, they're in an upward trajectory, especially with a lot of the changes that they've made recently. And I talked about it last week when we talked about Dynamite, but and they're starting to completely double down on that progression and what they've implemented so far. But as far as these releases,
Brazanga, like Tyler Breeze, the man who was helping other people back there sharpen their skills, Tyler Breeze, you let Breeze go? Fandango, who's been there since 06, you let him go? Like, what? I mean, some of the other talent, don't get me wrong. I mean, no, we was not favorable on Everrise, but they were needed to be there for a comedy aspect.
Listen,
He just had a
will say
match.
this. I will say this. So in terms of Everrise, Matt Martell and Chase Parker,
he said their names.
um, and I was saying this over the past couple weeks. They were going to end up being that meme tag team that everybody started to come around on, which that was the case. That's what they were. They were doing good work. You know, my biases aside, they were doing good work, and they were putting themselves in the position where they were going to get themselves over, whether anybody liked it or not.
Mm-hmm.
So, from that standpoint, usually that's what you would think would be the driving force for them staying there, because that's been Vince McMahon's thing from the beginning.
Right.
What can you do to get yourself over? Can you get the crowd on your side? They've done that. So if you're doing what the big man wants you to do to get over and it's working for you, why then would you be let go if you're doing what you're told? That's what I don't understand. So that's why a lot of this is nonsensical, and the fact that they even say that it's not Nick Khan has me believing that that's completely opposite, because I'm seeing people.
I 100% think it's Nick Khan. Honestly, to be perfectly honest with you, Jaeger, I don't know how familiar you are with the WWE games, like the ones that was on PS2 and all that. I'm pretty sure Mr. Deasley is
familiar with them.
It's just like going back, like with Woods and Breeze, which I'm a spin off on that situation too, about up, down, down, because that's still a question mark. It's just like going back and playing SmackDown 06 and SmackDown 07 with GM mode. I wouldn't be surprised Nick Khan is looking at the roster, looking at how much they get paid, probably looking at how long they've been active, what they've been doing recently, and he's probably literally scanning these sheets and being like, you know what? Do we really need Aleister Black? Like, he just came back. He wasn't really used. Yeah, Strowman was a big guy. Do we really need him? Yeah. Do we really need Lana? I mean, we didn't got the usage out of her. Do we need Lana? Do we need Buddy Murphy? He wasn't really doing much right now. Do we need Everrise? Do we really need Breezango? Like I say, he's just really going on the list. And I'm pretty sure there were people who was like, maybe we should keep some people. Because I'm pretty sure Trips was probably like, I probably think we should possibly keep. Well, once again, if it goes over your head, it's over your head. And Nick's Khan position is technically over Trips' head.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure. How new is Nick Khan to this, though?
Nick Khan got the position back in August.
Yeah.
In August.
He became the president.
And how does somebody with as much experience as Trips not a valued opinion?
I mean, that's great. It's office politics, man. I mean, they probably don't view Trips as hot, because you got to think about it. It's like everybody's clicked up. You got people that's within the trenches of the company, those who used to be wrestlers and now get office jobs, and you got people that's already been in the office, and it's like they look down on anybody that would come in elsewhere because they've already got their standard day-to-day deal with the people that they're familiar with. So that's how I would look at it. But I'm glad you said what you said, Scoop, because then that raises an interesting question. And that's, does Nick Khan consume the product? Because, if you think about how we come on here and we talk about 205 Live as if it's not a thing or completely irrelevant, and you look at this list of releases recently, and it's the majority of the 205 Live roster.
Yeah. Honestly, if you're looking at 205 Live, which I haven't really watched it in a while,
same.
Nice, Davari, Gray, Stallion, sometimes Everrise, they were mainstays. Oh, and the Singh brothers, they were mainstays on that show. So, because with Mansoor being promoted to Raw,
Yeah.
I don't know who's necessarily still left on 205 Live.
I think it might be. I think after this recent release, it's got to be less than I think 5 people, and that's including Brian Kendrick, who is a producer on SmackDown.
Unless they're about to start retooling completely 205 Live, if they don't get rid of it, unless they start retooling it to have people like Ashanti, Carmelo Hayes, who was the guy who debuted against Kushida last week?
Oh,
I completely forgot.
Yeah, okay, but unless they start retooling this and maybe even featuring Kushida on 205, like unless they about to really bring in a new crop of people and start featuring a lot new set of talent, I don't see 205 Live staying alive too much longer.
Yeah, I know. There's only 5 people on 205
yeah,
Live.
see?
They may just dismantle 205 Live.
Yeah, I think they're going to dismantle it.
Yeah, they might as well just put that roster on NXT just permanently.
I'm pretty sure that's probably going to end up being the thing. And then too, kind of like what you're kind of hinting at.
Oh, they're just going to make it enhancement talent.
I wouldn't be surprised if Nick Khan just has a sheet full of names, and there's probably another sheet of the untouchables. Like, don't even think about touching these names. But these names are free to go.
True.
These names, you could do whatever. We could reevaluate. But these names here on this list, don't even look at that. Don't even look at that one at all. Just these names here. Which, of course, people like Roman, Edge, Seth, all of those people. But yeah, Drew and Bobby and New Day, But this list here, we can play around with this list and see what happens. And I'm pretty sure probably the same thing happened with NXT. Yeah. This list here, you can't touch, but these over here, you can figure it out. So, and because I even thought about it when I saw the picture you sent to us, Lip. And the thing is that it's not the releases that bothers me with WWE. It's like the implication in the way it sounds. Because like I said, people get let go and people get fired all the time from different companies. But for some reason, it just seems evil with WWE. Like, it just seems like it was so mean. And I honestly think a lot of that probably has to do with that whole talent hoarding they were doing.
Yeah, because you got to understand, especially with what they were doing, especially once AEW became a real thing to them, they were extending people's contracts for an exorbitant amount of money, just to keep them there, and you got to think about, especially with the Good Brothers, when they decided to stay for a lot more money and then got released. It's them, it's especially with Vince, just throwing money around to keep your toy box full, and not really using anybody. So from that perspective, I can't be mad at Nick Khan for wanting to be like, okay, you know what? I have all these shareholders, on my back, trying to say, okay, where's all this money going? Why is this? Why is this? What's happening? And then him trying to make sense of it and be like, that's business. I understand that. But come on. It's just so out of nowhere. And it's like they're not doing anything to make sense of it, especially for you got to think about like a TV show, because that's what they are. They're a TV show. If you had something like, Supernatural happening, on CW, and you had, both Jensen Ackles and Jared Padalecki, and they said, you know what, we're gonna fire Jared Padalecki, and you say, okay, you know what, you got Sam and Dean, but all of a sudden Sam just disappeared. You're not just gonna have him just disappear and just carry on with the show. You're going to write him off in the right way. So that makes sense.
It's very wild that you brought that up, because Jared Padalecki had just came out and said that he's hurt
Oh,
about
yeah.
the supernatural prequel series that's coming out.
Wait, he's hurt about it?
Yeah. Jensen Ackles is still a part of it. He's going to be the narrator.
Oh,
he's
yeah, that's right.
produced,
My bad. It's the other way around.
But Jared Padalecki has no involvement in the show at all.
They didn't even ask him to be in it. Like, what
They didn't talk to him about it at all. So that's very coincidental that you just used that as as an example with that kind of just now coming up for real. But yeah, I mean, like, okay.
I mean, speaking of hurt involved in this, sorry, but I just earlier was watching from Reddit. They got Adam Cole, like, when he got the news about Breeze and everybody getting released. Like, it's on his live Twitch that's still up. I'll send y'all the link later. But like, he takes a minute. Like, he stops playing the game. Like, he was like in the middle of like fighting in Hollow Knight, and then I don't know, he died or something. But from the timestamp I watched it on, he's just chilling there and he's like checking his phone. His phone's going off. He looks at it and he's just like, "Yeah, I'm sorry, guys." And you like see the look on his face, like,
well, now let me spin off with that. This brings up, down, down, because I'm pretty sure there's some key people that are on BTE that if they got fired from AEW, it'll be like, what the hell is such and such it?
Yeah.
So in Up, Down, Down's case, Breeze was always a very integral part because him and Woods are best friends.
Right.
Yeah. And what Up, Down, Down did, they eventually started factions. Because
they made left, right, right?
And then you had the other group, BRE Start. And BRE Start was the group started by Mia, Jessamine, Shayna, and Dakota.
Oh, okay.
Now, Jessamine hasn't been on since she got released. Breeze, he does Battle of the Brands with Woods every week. He does Uno every week with, they call themselves The Party, which is Woods, Breeze, Cesaro, and Cole.
Yeah.
And he was in the left, right tournament because now they're going to turn the left, right title into a separate title. So I want to know how Woods are going to try to work out keeping Breeze on the channel because his absence will be noticeable.
Yeah.
Because he's so in the mix with so many things that if he's just completely written out, then it's going to be like Wood's going to have to literally retool Up, Down, Down.
True.
How much involvement does WWE have with that?
Oh, so apparently I wanted to tell y'all on another podcast, according to Woods, WWE owns 100% of it.
Yes.
A person asked him that on Twitter.
Wow.
And he said WWE owns 100%. They always had.
Wow.
So I don't know how it's going to work out with Breeze because, like I said, he was the leader of left, right, which consisted of Breeze, Cesaro, Cole. Technically, Tegan Knox and Dio Madden was part of left, right too. But he was part of that faction. He has 2 other series within Up, Down, Down. So I don't know. So that's why Cole took that break, like you said, because especially with Breeze, he's so intertwined in that channel that now it's kind of like, oh shit, what the fuck we gonna do now if WWE doesn't allow Breeze to stay on this channel?
True.
Because I mean, let's face it. Breeze can't stay on the channel after 90 days and he gets hired by AEW or he gets hired by Impact or something. Yeah. So they might let him ride out these 90 days. Then after that, Up, Down, Down could be looking mighty different in a few months.
That's another thing, speaking of that, because I mean, again, to piggyback off everything that we just talked about, still within 90 days, you're still getting paid. It's like you can still take this time to use them, to write them off the TV, do some type of storyline, and do things to kind of just tie up.
Give them a proper send-off.
Exactly. And I don't understand just that business aspect of it because of the fact that you're still paying them. So it's like, why pay them to just sit at home when you could be using them while you're paying them? So,
Yeah.
especially when it's them doing their 90 to, you know what? I just realized what it was. Because, see, if they use them and they get themselves over doing that 90-day compete and they go from one show to another once it's over, then in their mind, it hurts them.
Yes.
So I get it. They're using it as a palate cleanser. So that way you get the taste out of your mouth and you don't think about them. So that when they pop up somewhere else, they don't have that rocket
Momentum.
behind them.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I answered my own question, so never mind.
Yeah. So, like I said, so I don't know what's going to happen in that case with up, down, down. But yeah, these releases, it sucks for the most part because to keep referencing again, y'all was doing all of this hoarding of talent. But then now it's like, we really don't need y'all anymore. And then to even mention AEW, this keeps putting AEW in such a weird box.
Mm-hmm.
Because in between all the talent that was released this year, they can't become the company that keeps taking everybody from WWE. But what sucks is that these are talented people that are coming from WWE.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now they
think
can't
we
turn
need-
into WCW Junior or TNA Junior. So they're going to be in a unique position with all of these recent releases and cuts.
Yeah.
I think we need to get I mean, I was a proponent of this myself, but I'm starting to lean towards the thought process of getting rid of the idea of looking at ex-WWE as, and then going to different companies as, taking in WWE talent or becoming the new WCW 2.0 or TNA 2.0.
I can
And we
agree with
should
that too.
probably start seeing them as people, like we just called them, people with amazing talent that deserve a job somewhere.
And
And where else to do it besides, like, I guess you could call them now WWE's number one competitor.
Yeah. And
AKA
I can see
AEW.
it that way too, Jaeger.
Or New Japan.
And you're right. We probably starting today, we should see it that way. But there's going to be so many people in the IWC who's going to be
fans are
like,
toxic.
"Oh, you're WWE's throwaway. What makes you think you could be a big name in Impact, or what makes you think you could be a big name in AEW?" So that's the problem.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. If AEW keeps bringing in talent that's not necessarily great, then that's a problem.
Yes.
However, yeah, if there's people with great works, great gimmicks, and can get themselves over, then fuck it. Like, I don't see a problem with bringing them on.
And and let's really get into this deeper issue. The only reason why Impact and WCW messed up was because they was bringing in these X stars and straight pushed them to the top.
Yes.
Yeah.
Moxley was the only one who got kind of lucky because he started with the company early.
Mm-hmm.
True.
So we knew eventually Moxley was going to be at the top of the mountain at some point. Miro is showing that why he should have been where he's at.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like who else? It's not like Ty Conti became women's champion.
Yeah, and that's the thing that AEW is doing right is that everybody that they have brought in, a lot of people are missing that too. Everybody that they've brought in from WWE, they haven't really pushed to this top. They've actually made them better than they were and actually utilized them in a way that WWE probably should have. So yeah, I mean, even with Christian's somebody that we thought he was going to be somebody they would have, elevated to the top, but they're using him in a way to where he's, side character. Now it may change with what happened, on Dynamite, but that I don't have a problem with it. But even with what's his face, Cesar Bononi, Big guy, could be utilized, still kind of green, but they have him in a situation where he's with people who, for lack of a better term, are an enhancement talent stable.
I was gonna say, I know you don't want to use the J word, but
yeah, I don't want. They're not the Job Squad. They can never be the Job Squad. Shout out to Blue Meanie, and his that was my shit. That was my shit back in Attitude Era.
Hell yeah, just
all day.
Like I said, I mean, at this point, I guess it's starting to turn into a weekly situation with them. Like, honestly, like they on some Dragon Ball Z shit where you got to tune in next week to figure out. The thing is that
who will get released next?
Exactly, because it's starting to turn more into a not tuning in to watch the product, tuning in to see if your favorite stars is going to get released.
Basically,
that's what it's kind of starting to tune into now.
Even like when it's like Survivor. A week or two after they just wrestled.
Even worse.
You know what? No, it's like Game of Thrones,
right?
Oh no,
it's like every week is a red wedding,
right?
Oh,
every week. But hey, I would just say good luck to all those talents, and we'll see what happens with you next.
Absolutely.
Hello.
Now, outside of that, you got any other news, Scoot?
No, pretty much it. So we can go ahead and roll into this Dynamite.
Okay, now with Dynamite. Now, just like I said last week, how I felt they were going in the right direction with kind of merging how they work with on Dark and Elevation and soon to be Rampage, and they're starting to bring in talent to where it's like they're meshing well and kind of just bleeding through and making it work. This Saturday Night Dynamite was a good continuation of that method that they're using to do this, and I'm glad that they are, because you think about the matches that were on, like this whole story matches crowd fucking a good 50% of why this whole show was as good as it was. But from top to bottom, from beginning to end, every single match, every single segment, I have no real negatives about. And
I have one. I have one. But
I think we know.
But to the contrary, it's been my issue with this ever since. So it's not like this would be a new situation, and hence it has to deal with the Inner Circle and the Pinnacle.
And you know what? And I'm that's where one of my negatives are. Well, slight negative, because there's some good that's in this. My negative is
I mean, to kind of spoiler alert, the Conan and Tully, fire. Conan, fire. But we'll get to that.
But yeah, I mean, ironically enough, I think that's where the show kind of opened up with
Sammy Guevara,
with Sammy getting attacked by Sean Spears. Now
this would have made sense next week to injure Sammy before his match with MJF rather than to do it a week ahead of time. That's my only issue. I don't mind that it should have happened next week.
And I'm glad you said it like that, because I mean I liked it, of course, but see, this is my thing, and I'll just jump into it now because it did start it off. But that's when the thought process of it happened, and then it continued throughout the show. Is that the fact that it's funny how it seems that the booking of this feud between them seems to be going in reverse. It seems like it should be flipped, and it's like the good stuff that they're doing right now should have been what's happening up to the big matches, because I like the way this is going. I love the fact that you have everything kind of separate. I love the fact that you have Sean Spears being more unhinged every single week, and basically being like that quote unquote hitman of the Pinnacle. And
you know what? The only thing I wish for Sean Spears, I wish he wasn't known as the chairman. Like, I wish he would have just been known as something else, because the only other reason that would have made sense with Sammy is if he would have like hit him with like a pipe or something. Then it would have been like, okay, well, I can see that being injured for like 2 weeks. You get struck with a pipe, but a chair, we've seen chair shots since forever. So we've seen people take chair shots and they back up doing shit again. So that's why I wasn't feeling this, because it was like this would have made sense next week, since he's main eventing against MJF, because throughout the whole show they could have been like, is Sammy going to be able to compete against MJF in the main event? They could have been constantly doing checkups. They could have been showing Sammy back there, trying to get the elbow right, but he has a week to recover.
Yeah.
Unless Spears is going to do it again, but he has a week to recover. So that's the only.
It looks like he recovered in 2 hours.
Yeah.
You know what? You're right, because he did come out later on. So you're right.
But yeah, from that we get into a fantastic start to the night, because I didn't expect this match to be as good as it was.
If I was a betting man, I would have lost.
Oh yeah.
I honestly thought Hobbs was gonna take it.
Oh really?
So to fast forward, that reversal he did of the buckshot lariat.
Oh, with the spine buster. Oh,
should have been the end.
Oh yeah.
I
thought that was it too.
They would have been like, yo. But I can see why Hangman won, because once again, we know Hangman's is on the trajectory of the Kenny Omega Mountain, and Hangman is going there. So that's the only reason why I saw it. But
like with GYV and MSK, I like how they're just keeping them out of each other's picture.
Yeah.
But there's always Marvez trying to bring that back to relevance.
Yeah. And that's the thing about this whole situation too, is then primarily with the fans, and this is why I can't wait for next month when WWE finally brings fans, if they happen to show up, judging by the ticket sales. But because this is going to prove
who's over and who's not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And with AEW, it seems like all the right people are over. Like if you think about how things were going with the pandemic and how the IWC reacted to a lot of people, everybody that the IWC was behind in AEW reflected what was going on anytime the fans were in attendance. There was not any surprise where it's like, oh shit, wait, they're shitting on them. Oh wait, they like them. It's
the only surprise to me, which I'm mad that it hasn't happened yet, because I think isn't one of them injuries that we haven't seen the Acclaim yet.
Oh yeah.
That would be the only one to where if Acclaim comes out and they still get that pop that Caster got during the pay-per-view, if they was to still get that same type of pop during the Dynamite, then it would be like, yep, they are over.
That's true.
Like, yep. So
you know what? Wait, which one of them is injured? Is it Anthony Bowens or is it Max Caster?
Wait, is one of them injured?
No. Bowens was injured for a little bit, but it was just Caster. But now it's I think they're both clear now. I think they just weren't wrestling on Dynamite this week.
Okay. So now this is where I give AEW their props, because again, you had Cody pushing the whole Pride Month thing for a second, and then AEW jumped in. This is the polar opposite between them and WWE. WWE is going to take everybody who is of that community, and they're going to showcase them more. Not a lot of people would know that Anthony Bowens is gay.
Really?
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yeah. But that's the thing. They're not pushing that agenda.
Because let's be real, Sonny Kiss would have been on TV every week.
Yeah.
There you go. Exactly. But they're
Nyla Rose would have been on TV every week.
Thank you.
For the wrong reasons.
Okay, there you go.
For the wrong reasons.
This is what equality is, people. That's what that is. No difference. No, like Matter of fact, same thing with Black History Month. You didn't see anybody of color being pushed to the moon like that. Everything was just another day at the office, as it should be, as it should be. But sorry, I thought about it for a second. I was like, oh yeah, that's because I learned about this maybe 2 weeks ago, and that's it. Then when I brought it up, I was like, oh wait, that does make sense. But I digress. Back to this match. But yeah, Hangman over like Rover. Yes. Like, and just the level of pop, especially with every match that happened. You know who they're behind, you know who they're for, you know who they're against. I mean, Ethan Page, obviously. But right. The level of engagement that these fans had, and you know, of course, you can chalk it up to maybe them not being there for a while, but I mean, that's already passed. I mean, you go back to Double or Nothing, where you had the full pop there, a few other Dynamites that happened, you had fans in attendance, but this one shows right now, at this point, that fans, the fan base, IWC is genuinely invested in AEW, in anything AEW is pushing out, because, and you know, it's like because I saw this video of the end of Dynamite, of last night's Dynamite, where Kingston had his promo, and I saw that too. Just the way that came off, and the way that. It's Kingston, man. we
can talk about it later when we get to it, but I don't like the headlines that they make it seem like he was just bashing WWE.
Oh, no, he wasn't. He wasn't at all.
Headlines really. I caught. I just never got to read the article.
Okay, well, you know what? We can go ahead and talk about it quickly. He was just basically, to paraphrase it, you won't see guys with this much heart on the other station. You won't see guys with the friendship like me and Moxley have on the other station. You won't see action like this on the other station. So because of that, we work hard for y'all. And we're going to keep doing what we do for y'all, because y'all are the reason why. Like, it wasn't like he was just outright in there. Fuck WWE, everything they stand for. Fuck the talent. Fuck Vince McMahon. Fuck me. Like, he wasn't saying all of that. He was just basically like, I mean, like, it basically
just sounded like how it is.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, his speech was akin to if a fighter was fighting another fighter. Oh, that fighter ain't been in the gym like I've been in the gym. I've been day and night in the gym. Like, I mean, or this team ain't gonna beat our team because we dedicated to. Like, it wasn't like he was just outright fuck Seth Rollins, fuck Roman Reigns, fuck Drew McIntyre, fuck Vince. Like, no, people was giving it these clickbait ass headlines to make it worse than what it was. But nothing Kingston said made it so just, oh, he's taking these shots at WWE. No,
which is funny, because not one time did he ever say WWE.
He just kept saying the other station.
Exactly, and that could have meant any fucking. I mean, there's a lot of promotions out there now. Granted, yes, everybody's going to say, "Yep, WWE," obviously, because everybody's playing nice outside of WWE. But there was not one point where you can say, "Oh, he bashed WWE," because he never said WWE. So definitely clickbaiting. But
Prince of Predictions and Jaeger. Does Hangman take this title off of Omega?
Yes, but I gotta see Omega get like 2 more, maybe 3 more defenses in before that.
He's going to go against Christian for sure.
Yeah, I see Christian.
I mean, especially with last night's events, we're going to definitely see Christian. Yeah, we want to see it too, man. Chill.
But yeah,
with Loki wants that match too.
He does.
But with Hangman, with Hangman and Hobbs for one is looking better and better. Like the way he's shaping up, like he's You could tell he's been in the gym. You tell he's been hitting cardio like crazy.
Yeah.
Like you can tell he's positioning himself for a push at some point.
I'm surprised he didn't have his own music at this point. Because he came out to FTR's theme. Not
Well,
FTR,
I
sorry.
guess
FT
Team Taz's.
Team Taz's theme.
I guess because they're still technically a team.
Yeah, because I think Brian Cage still comes out to that theme too, right?
Huh?
Does Brian Cage still come out to Team Taz's theme?
No, Brian Cage has his own.
I think Brian Cage has his own.
Okay, I know Ricky Starks does,
Starks
but
definitely does.
Yeah,
But well, I guess let's also discuss that. Ricky Starks taking Cage's belt and trying to give it to Hobbs to use it as a weapon.
which Hobbs was ready to use too.
I think he was more so trying to give him that belt.
Like that too.
I mean,
also, what the hell happened to Hook?
He kind of disappeared. Like he went out there, but he just disappeared.
I'm not sure there.
Yeah, I'm about to say, like, what happened to
I thought
Hook?
you caught
Hook
like a
came
neck
out
brace
there
on
too.
him or something. I didn't see.
Yeah, Hook had came out there along with Starks. The next thing you know, like, did Page attack Hook and we missed it? Like, what happened with Hook?
I think that might have been it.
He might have.
Like
just to throw him off, yeah.
AEW's camera angles weren't the best throughout this. Sometimes.
Yeah, someone was a little wonky.
Yeah. This was the moment where I did have the shock because it looked cliche for a second with him turned around and then Hangman getting ready for the buckshot lariat. Because normally you'd be like, oh shit, this is where the finish of the match comes. And then that spine buster hit, and I was like, oh
boy.
I was like, oh my god.
You don't expect that half the time because everything's so predictable with, depending how fuck finishes go. But yeah, this wasn't that case. And I was like, oh shit, this match is still going. Hobbs might take this.
Yeah.
I thought he should have took it with that spine buster because it was like, damn.
It was.
It was a nice one. Of course, Hangman busted his head open. I'm not sure when.
He hit the pole.
I mean, like on the back of his head or something.
Yeah. He went into the ring post and hit the top of his head.
So it must have scratched him.
Yeah.
When he went through it. So
I watched the first hour this morning because I caught the second hour after my sister's baby shower. So that's why it's still fresh. So I caught the first hour this morning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Luckily he hit the pole and bust the top of his head.
Well, I mean, he was able to see how he would look if he was a redhead. So,
That's it.
I honestly didn't catch him being busted open up until I saw the ref with the gloves on. I was like, wait, who's bleeding? And they zoomed in on Hangman, and I was like, oh.
Same. And I was like, wait, where is he bleeding? And I seen that red patch, and I was like, oh. And then it just kept expanding and spreading around. I'm like, oh, okay. So, yeah, he's bleeding. And then every time he would hit his head on the mat, you would see that blood spot. I was like, oh, yeah, that's pretty red. Yes. Pretty significant. But yeah, he
got some color.
But he didn't win with the buckshot lariat.
He won with the dead eye.
He did. Which I liked. I do like them mixing it up like that. And of course, I guess he's gonna start doing this more, where he grabs two beers and throws one to the crowd.
Okay, so I did see that correctly. That he threw one to the crowd.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like I said, I can't wait to I hope they build it up beautifully between Hangman and Omega because it's going to be an amazing match. But because the thing is, I hope it's not as predictable as we want it to be because I want to know what's going to happen first with Omega. Is he going to start losing all of his titles first and then AEW is the last one? Or is this the first title he lose? Then he start losing the titles. So I want to know what's going to happen. AEW's
definitely going to be the last one.
Yeah, so I want to know.
I think so too. I think the first one he's going to lose is going to be at AAA against Andrade.
Because personally, I'm going to be pissed if Sami Callihan beats Kenny Omega for the Impact and for the Impact Championship.
Yeah, that's not going to be great.
Because what was wrong with Moose?
Nothing.
Moose
at all.
Perfect.
If you were gonna have somebody take it off, it should have been Moose at that point in time.
So I'm gonna be pissed if Sami Callihan is the one to take the belt off of Omega.
I mean, unless him and Moose running back.
Unless they do that.
Yeah. But I mean, we definitely will see. Next up, the Conan and Tully had some words for each other.
Warrior.
Conan definitely had some words for Tully.
Conan was dropping bars.
Yeah. First off, AEW, good shit. This was the initial thing outside of Sammy and Sean Spears deal that made me think, okay, yeah, this is definitely going in reverse, because I could have seen this little segment here and then going into the fucking Stadium Stampede where Conan just showed up at that point, because it just made sense. But I digress. This is how you build this whole, like, everything between the build between FTR and Proud and Powerful is working on all ends. And for them to take Tully, who's been mentoring FTR since they got there, and then you have Conan, one with Proud and Powerful, dealing with LAX, everything, just him being the quintessential, pure-blooded, just Latin star.
Yes.
Like he's been, I mean, you got your Eddie Guerreros, you have, your Rey Mysterios, Juventud Guerreros, Psychosis, all of that. But when you think of just
leave out Conan.
When you think about Latin pride, though, Conan should always come to mind first.
Mm-hmm.
This is why this is good, because the way that he was able to be just the voice for Proud and Powerful, and them not even being on the show, outside of them just showing that they got their asses kicked. We didn't see that, though. We didn't need to. It's cool.
No.
And then just to talk about just how integral he is just to them, and then to double back and then talk about how going back and talking about covering the promos that they gave, like last week and the week before, and then stating how, yeah, you guys say you're there, you say you're from this part, but that's not right. It's like, yeah, you've dealt with your hardships, but it's not the hardships we dealt with. And he went to cut them down and say, yeah, you've never been this, you've never been that, you've never been this. Yeah, you've been busy dealing with your vegan burger farms, or your brawls at the bar and the barn and all this other shit. He's like, you didn't deal with gangs of being shot at, being kidnapped, having this and this and this and this happen, being locked up. And then he pointed to Tully. Oh, Tessa got a mention without getting a mention when he said, yeah, because he said this. He said to Tully, he said, eventually you're gonna have to learn Spanish to talk to your grandchildren. Your grandchildren.
Oh, I forgot. She is married to or married or boyfriend to a superstar that's in AAA.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit!
Oh my god, that went over my head.
So I was listening to everything, but then I was like, oh, okay.
That went over my head. I'm not gonna lie. I totally forgot.
Conan and even with the fact of him talking to Tully, just basically like, yeah, you're about the mind games. I already know you're already starting. But it don't matter, because I'm gonna beat you to the punch, because I know you're gonna call your boys out here regardless. So I got my boys already waiting. So
go
ahead.
Unless they don't want it to happen, as far as Conan and Inner Circle, Conan should be a part of the Inner Circle just to be with Proud and Powerful.
I think they might treat it like they're treating Death Triangle and Alex.
Yeah.
Because it's just like every time you have Penta outside of Death Triangle, then you have Alex. But the moment that Penta and Death Triangle are doing something, Alex is non-existent. So
that makes sense.
I think that might be the case. I mean, granted, I wouldn't be opposed. I mean, matter of fact, Conan was in that in that vignette when he did the Inner Circle in the Vegas stuff, because he was in that. He was in that vignette as well.
Okay.
So I mean that could be the case as well. So who knows? We'll have to see.
And speaking of LAX, Bleacher Report says that LAX needs to win those tag titles when they go to New York in September. That show that they're doing was in Queens, I think.
Oh,
I think it's Queens. Possible. But he was saying, Bleacher Report was saying that Proud and Powerful need to win those tag titles on that show, because it was like it's due for them to win those tag titles.
It is. When is that show?
I think it's September.
Oh, that's plenty of time.
Yeah.
That's plenty of time. But they would. Damn.
Most likely they're gonna beat the Bucks, because I'm pretty sure Bucks are gonna hold on to those titles until then.
Okay, well, if that's the case, then the Bucks would have to hold those titles up to that point. That's what I was thinking about for a second, because I'm like,
who could have beat them in that time?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're facing September. Well, next week they're facing, from their promo, which we'll get into, but
Kingston
the promo itself. Yeah, like they're giving them a match next week, and then if they win, they'll get an actual title chance.
Wait. Now that I think about it, so with the Proud and Powerful and FTR stuff, if I'm correct, this is all just built. They haven't set a date for a match yet.
No.
Nope. Okay, perfect. So they can stretch this shit out.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and 9 times out of 10, this will stretch out through July, possibly August, maybe, and. Yeah, that'll give perfect time, because
the only match we have in the future, which was announced, was Baker and Nyla Rose at Fyter Fest night 1 and night 2.
Oh, and then Ethan Page and Darby.
Page and Darby.
Fair enough. Well, but yeah, so Conan tried to call out Proud and Powerful. And you had two figures walk up, which I already knew it was a misdirect at that point, because when did they ever just come out just completely dressed like that? But Tully, they're still playing it up. Conan had no idea. But Tully, being, the old, smart, wise man he is, turned that shit around real quick and said, yeah, you may think you a step ahead of me, but I'm always a step ahead. So we already took care of your boys.
Mm-hmm.
Then they decided to say, yeah, we're going to take care of you. Of course, he showed the vignette of Proud and Powerful, knocked out completely in the back. And then they went to work on Conan, which, of course, is going to be some retaliation and repercussions for that action.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Because the way that Conan said, it's like, yeah, you might be their mentor, but I'm their father.
Mm-hmm.
They don't get no deeper than that at that point. So, yeah, that definitely gonna be some shit to pay. But after that, wait, did that happen?
Well, no,
that match happened. But I thought there was a segment. It was
Bucks segment.
It was Eddie Kingston and Penta talking with Alex there.
No, I thought that was later. I thought there was the Bucks segment.
They I think they did them back to back.
Reversed. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think they did them back to back, because I knew Penta and them was first, and then because then they cut to Bucks and Brandon Cutler later.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was after the Matt Sydal match. So yeah, it was Penta and Kingston decided to go ahead and talk that shit. I'm not gonna get into that, because that
Wait. Hold on, quick question. Explain to me what happened with Moxley.
He had a kid.
Well, so because didn't he show up the week after he took all those damn BTE triggers up?
I think he's been gone since then.
Yeah, he's been gone since then.
I just want no. He showed up on a run-in one time.
No, that was Kazarian.
You know what? That might be who I'm confusing.
Because and And the reason I say that is because at the end when Kazarian ran out, I was like, oh shit, is that Mox? Because I literally thought it was Mox too.
Kazarian with Mox. Okay.
It's that goddamn hoodie. It's the fucking hoodie.
Yes,
it has to be that.
But yeah, I'm forgoing the whole Penta and Eddie Kingston backstage shit because not to go against Kingston, he does this shit all the time. But
yes,
the Bucks shit with Brandon Cutler was fucking gold.
I'm telling you, man. Nick
man.
is giving it to me. Nick is giving it to me.
Yeah, they Brandon Cutler in this whole thing, like he's him being their whipping boy is doing it for me because you don't expect some of the stuff, but the way that they treat him, it's like it's a whipping boy, but then it's like that's like you can still chill with the cool kids. Well, it's cool, because of those little nuggets, just like he had later on, but they continue to run down the fact that the EVP thing, which I like, extremely violent people. Seeing how they basically are running through the tag division, and they've stated how they've just been showing, we're better than everybody else, but they're going to start showing how more dominant they are as far as being the EVPs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the little checklist, and then they're like, Brandon, or no, they're like give him the list, and then Brandon's about to be like, you got and they're like, Brandon, shut up, and then Nick runs it through. It's like we got rid of Mox, and then Matt jumps in with our kids are better than your kid, or our kids are more cute than yours. Then what was it? We got rid of Phoenix. It's like, adios. We got rid of Pac. Poor bastard. All right. Oh.
It's fucking gold. And I'm enjoying it because of, you know what? You're right, Jaeger. The Penta King stuff did happen after. Because I'm thinking about it when they're talking about the tag titles, and later on, it's okay. We're doing it all together anyway. It doesn't matter. But yeah. They were saying basically saying that you're gonna have to take, like, if you take these titles off of us, then but that's not gonna happen.
They said they're not even a real tag team. They've been doing this for years and years.
For me, that seemed like it was a shot at WWE and their whole just putting random teams together, which now I do have to go ahead and
felt like a hidden shot,
and say something about that, because now we're at the point to where it's like, especially with the tag division. Now, I could be wrong, because this could be a play on the fact that Bucks have kind of just gone through everybody, so the rankings don't matter because they've basically beaten all the teams. But the fact that you have Penta and Kingston getting a shot at the titles, it makes me question the validity.
It's an eliminator.
Okay. True enough. But at the same time, I feel like those within like the rankings, like especially with those like in the top 5, you know what? Let me take that back, because maybe it's the fact that anybody that's in the top 5 automatically get like a title shot. So whenever they want to compete for it, cool. So anybody outside of that need to do a title eliminator. I'm running with that. I'm just going to assume that that's the case because it makes sense to me.
It makes sense.
And so yeah. But just for a fucking question, or the inquisitor in me, I need to see this fucking tag rankings.
Just to see what we have. As while he's pulling that up, I think you were commenting on Nick doing it for you.
Oh man, Nick! I mean the over excessive. What was it? The earring thing he had.
The earring chain on the
chain
hat.
from the hat. Yeah.
Like, come on! Like, I am loving heel Young Bucks. Face Young Bucks wasn't doing it for me, but I'm loving heel Young Bucks. I'm loving it.
I popped when or I just like broke whenever Mick started like at the camera for no reason.
But yeah, they doing it for me as heels.
Oh, yeah.
I'm enjoying. Oh, I like these rankings on all ends.
Oh yeah.
Well, except for the tag, because I still don't get how Varsity Blondes are still at the top.
Good question.
Outside of Varsity Blondes, everything's looking good because you got the Acclaimed at 2, FTR at 3, Private Party at 4, and then Proud and Powerful finally made the fucking list again at 5.
Good shit.
Women's division is looking good too. Nyla Rose at 1, Ty Conti back in there at 2, Thunder Rosa at 3, Chris Statlander at 4, Hikaru Shida at 5.
Statlander?
Yes, indeed. And then of course, now because because Saturday just happened, so they haven't done the rankings yet as far as for the next week. Jungle Boy still at 1, Paige at 2, Cassidy at 3, Powerhouse Hobbs at 4, Darby Allin at 5. So yeah, I'm liking how that shit's looking.
Yes.
But to carry on with the show itself, the first of surprising matches that I didn't really expect, Matt Sydal and Dante Martin.
Yep.
Can I just interject one small thing?
Fuck yeah.
I really don't get what was the point of the whole Vicky Guerrero Andrade thing. I mean, I get it in the long run sense, but come on.
This is bothering me. And you know what? I'm glad you brought it up, Scoot, because this is bothering me with Andrade kind of fixed it in a way when he did his interview with JR with him talking about why Vicky was there. Perfect damage control for me because I had an issue with it in the beginning. But when you do shit like this where you just have her come out and
just blatantly interrupted Dante Martin's entrance.
Yeah, and they're like there was no reason for it. Like it's not like because I'm thinking like, okay, you know what? They interrupted, so maybe he'll have a match with Sydal. We'll see. But
I mean, yeah, exactly, because she only does that crap for Nyla Rose when Nyla Rose is doing like her entrance.
So
to do it like this so blatantly with Andrade saying that he had a special announcement, and as soon as he's about to hit the mic, have Matt Sydal come out and just like give him back what Vicky served up for him. It was a lower point.
Yeah, and you made Andrade look less than now because all he did was walk off. He turned around, walked off as if like, oh shit, well, all right, you don't care about me being here. All right, I'm just gonna turn around and walk away, and that's it. And thing is, after that, there was no after the match beat down because for him interrupting like exactly. So my thing is like what's the plan? You say all this. You say he's looking after gold. He's trying to do this, trying to do that, but yet nothing. It's just words at this point, and I hate that because I have so much expectation for Andrade and AEW right now that it's starting to lower my intrigue on it because of the way that it's that is being booked. And it's funny, especially with how I literally just said that anybody that they bring from WWE, they've been doing correctly. And now it's like 50-50 because his presentation, his interview and everything like that, perfect. This stuff with Vicky Guerrero is almost as a downgrade because I felt like she could have introduced him and left it at that. But to represent him ongoing like this is not necessary.
So
I'll call it a blemish. Not necessarily a downgrade.
Thinks all of this is leading to Thea coming in and eventually managing Andrade again.
Ooh, I could see that. Like, you don't know how to manage him.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
That actually, okay, you know what? That would put more intrigue back in it. Maybe they're doing this on purpose. So I'm gonna hold my assumptions back. And I'm going to see how this plays out. And if that happens, yeah, take my money. Or if you get if you get Dasha
Ooh, also
to
good.
do it, then I'd be fine too. But this match, Dante Martin, I think ever since his brother got injured, they've been having him just on a fucking tear with these matches.
Yeah, he's been lighting it up.
Yeah, win or lose. Now there were some points in this match where he had a few missteps, but I think he might be overthinking it sometimes.
I mean,
But
at the end of the day, he is 20.
yeah,
So
Shit, I keep forgetting about that.
yeah, he
Yeah.
is 20. And then what they even said, I think it was Excalibur. He was like, Matt Seidel's been doing this for 20 years. So
Damn.
so yeah.
yeah, I enjoyed. I'm gonna say, I enjoyed the showcase. There we go.
Mhm.
I enjoyed the showcase between these two because I think Matt Seidel is a good dance partner for Dante Martin in this aspect, as far as like kind of, you know what, we're gonna have this match and I'm gonna show you what you can be capable of. And the way that Dante Martin moves in the ring and the way that the way his offense is, it's effortlessly aesthetically pleasing to watch, because watching how he did the that little float over stunner,
Yes.
Yes.
and the way he did his top rope moonsault, it's everything. The
Even the way
presentation is
he did
extremely
that
nice.
sunset flip.
Everything.
And then I think it was Authors of Wrestling again who called out, it's something about Dante Martin doing that sunset flip while the sunset was happening. Which is very aesthetically pleasing to watch.
He just and he's getting it. He's somebody that gets it. So I hope that he's not the type to get too reckless and then hurt himself very early, because he has the amount of potential that Patrick Clark had in NXT, to the point to where like he's a future star in the making, like just like Jeff Hardy was. Because thinking about Hardy Boys, when they came in, they were extremely young. So Top Flight being in that same position and having just that level of talent and skill just at that young age, and being willing to learn without being without being cocky and foolish. They can go a lot further than Private Party are at this point right now, which that might be a feud for the future as well.
Something I really want to know what happened with that situation.
With who?
Private Party was on a nice little trajectory, and all of a sudden, it just
fizzled.
Yeah. So I wonder what happened with that. Personally,
I mean, who knows? I mean, I don't know if Matt Hardy maybe presented something for to the company to say, you know what, I'm going to push these guys or find a way to make these guys better, and it just didn't work out, or this is something that they've opted for. Because yeah, you're right. I mean, with them having the start that they had in AEW to get to this point, it does seem pretty ass backwards for it to just not be going the way that most people would think it is, because the heel turn in itself started right, and then it just kind of fizzled in a way to where it went in the opposite direction. But for Top Flight, it seemed like they did everything right with them getting a tag title shot against the Bucks, and then moving. Wait, was it the Bucks? Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, it was the Bucks. It was the Bucks. Getting a tag title shot with the Bucks, and then getting showcased there, and then having them go completely on Dark and Elevation to do their matches here and there. Yeah. And then from Dante, I can't remember his brother's name, but him getting hurt, and then
Darius.
Oh, Darius. And then for them to continue to push Dante Martin and showcase what he's able to do, it worked. It worked. And it's continuing to work, because it's still keeping Top Flight in everybody's ear and eye, but it's putting Dante Martin in a position to where he's getting more experience and he's going to become the bigger star out of the two, even with him being the younger, i.e., like the Hardy Boys were. So this is very reminiscent of the Hardy Boys upbringing in professional wrestling, and this is not going to be my only callback to Jeff Hardy for this show. Spoiler alert, but yeah. So of course Matt Sydal, no surprise, going over. Dante Martin doing the job, but this wasn't about winning or losing in this match. Yes, it was. This match in itself was mainly, it felt like it was for the fans because the fans were completely behind this. And again, there is so much appreciation for fans being in attendance because this is the reason. This is the reason why professional wrestling is and has been the way that it is, because of the fans. Because fans make stars.
Yes.
And fans crush Charlotte Flairs.
Yes.
Cannot wait for the fans to come back so we can finally hear all the boos for Charlotte Flair.
At this point, they're not gonna care.
They're not, and neither is Charlotte, because Charlotte's already given backlash to everybody. But that's for
she can take her and her botched freaking plastic surgery she got and freaking shove it.
Yeah, but
sorry to call her up. But
no, you're good. You're good. I digress though. That Sydal goes over, looks good doing it. He does try to give certain praise to Dante Martin, but the camera cut away from it to do a which backstage. I think this one was the one for Jungle Boy that they did, which again.
Oh yeah, the one with Christian.
Yeah, leads more to the fact that the build for this match was just awful. Just completely awful.
I'm about to go say I don't think they did a great job promoting this match.
No, they did not. But luckily, and we'll get into it. It turned out the way that it did. But yeah, the build for it, I don't know if it was by design or if they just had a misstep with it. But I'm hoping that it was by design because, it's one of those things where it's like they're not expecting Jungle Boy to take the title anytime soon. And they're still trying to give more room for him to have his career in AEW and not fast track him to the main event like that. So yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. But yeah, this backstage segment started with them talking to him and him actually talking about him getting ready for this match and him wanting this, but then you have Christian come in, which I didn't agree with this, and trying to have somewhat of a halfway mentor role, saying, you should be mad because people don't, you got people out there that don't believe that you deserve this spot, which there's nobody that believes that unless you're talking about people that's in the back, but even then, no.
Yeah.
Man.
So that's why it didn't make sense to me when he said it, because that whole dialogue didn't make sense, especially when you think about how when Jungle Boy came out, the ovation that he got.
Boy.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it makes no sense. So I felt like this was completely unnecessary and you could have done without the involvement of Christian. And in some cases you could have done without this whole segment in general, but you have to build for the match, however little it is. So yeah, right. I could have done without it. But what I could have done with was a Seth and Paige Bear Bronson match. Well, no, not the match for me. The match was cool. The end was what was it for me.
Yes, I mean we can just skip all the way to the end.
Okay.
Small critique on Bear Country. They need to get rid of those masks.
You don't want them to have the Leatherface mask, man?
I mean, they're starting to. Every time I see them, I'm seeing more and more of Fiend. I get it. Okay. It's supposed to be like a bear trap on the face, and it's supposed to be like.
Is that what that is?
It looks like a bear trap on the sides, so that's what I'm assuming that's supposed to be.
It throws me off.
Yeah, it gives me Fiend vibes. It gives me like shit like that, and I don't know. I think they can do without it.
Yeah. This match wasn't a bad match. It was. I enjoyed it. I love the fact that again the fans shitting all over Ethan Page.
Oh yeah.
And
But
him playing to it.
So fire though.
It is. You know, I'm glad they never changed Scorpios. And, matter of fact, not only the entrance music, but that entrance video that they have with them
the
magazine.
Yeah.
Just perfect.
I love that as a tag team for them though, Men of the Year.
Yes.
Yeah. And again, I like how they're treating the tag teams. Like, you may not have them in a tag team match all the time, but you're still showcasing the individuals within the tag team to show, okay, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're a tag team, but you know, we can still do this shit on our own. Love the heel work from Ethan Page. He's just good at that. But the heel work with him doing the low blow, and then
man.
the way he did the what is it? Dolly? Is it the Ego Edge or is it the Ethan Edge? Is that what?
Ego's Edge.
Ego's Edge. There you go. Yeah. So the way he had the Ego's Edge, and the way he tossed Bronson.
Holy shit!
I'm like, yo, where is this straight coming from? I mean, I already know you can toss Darby across, you know, the fucking barricade, but
bro, he straight up held Bronson for a second.
He did. I'm like, okay, yeah, give me more of this. And now we didn't expect for the feud between him and Darby to be over with, because with their indie past and indie feuds and rivalry that they've had, they're going to play more into that, and they're going to want to give more matches with them. So now this,
I was slightly surprised that they were still pushing the Darby Ethan thing, but like you just said, I hadn't known too much about their indie history.
Yeah, with this, I don't know if this is going to be a blow-off match for them with this whole coffin match, even though, you know, casket match sounds better because we're used to it. But, you know, it's apropos for it to be a coffin match because Darby's finisher is the coffin drop. So, yeah, I don't know. I still don't know how I feel about it yet. I'm not mad at this because these two are going to give a good match. But just the stipulation is where I'm just like, I don't know. So, yeah, and I think this is what this is for. No, I think it's for what next month. I think.
It was for.
It's for that Beach Bash or whatever. That's in 2 weeks.
Road Rager.
I think.
Road Rager.
Road Rager. There we go.
Yeah. So, looking forward to that. It'll be cool. After that, we had a backstage segment with Jade Cargill. Kind of the same old shit. Not mad at it.
Whoa. You got to talk about her hot new shirt that is for sale at AEWshop.com. When you use 20% off code THATB.
I mean, I didn't notice.
Smart Mark advertised.
I didn't notice the shirt until it got ripped. Other things were in the way. Smart Mark was talking, so I couldn't get past what was going on. But yeah, the shirt got ripped though.
She ripped that shit.
She did rip that shit. But yeah, I mean, this is the same old with Jade.
Yeah.
Every tagline at the end, because I'm that bitch. I'm that bitch. Yeah, that bitch.
Promo code that.
Got it. Yeah,
she gets paid for every time she says
it. Undefeated still. I need her to, because again, undefeated, but still not in the ranking. So it's hard to brag until you get in that top 5 or the one with gold around her waist. So I think they need to start focusing on that rather than everything else. Look, Jade's already she's got the look, yes, but she also. She's got the character and everything, but her in-ring is not bad. So at this point, we need to focus more on that so that way she can stop talking about it and start being about it. So
I'm hoping that like Dustin is training her in the back or something until she gets more polished up.
If that's the case, then I'm fine with it. You know, put me in check, AEW. You know. let me see her in the ring, and all of a sudden I'm like, God damn, okay, I see why this was going on.
Mm-hmm.
I'll shut the fuck up. But I can't say that until I see something. So we'll see. But from there, that's when we had the Penta and Eddie Kingston shit happening, but we already talked about that. But what we did have was Chris Statlander. Chris Statlander versus the Bunny.
No.
We
We had that bit with the Pinnacle.
That's what we had. We had Pinnacle. Three members of the Pinnacle: Wardlow, Sean Spears, and MJF having a backstage brawl with Chris Jericho and Hager because everybody else was incapacitated for the most part. So
Right.
I like how that shit played out. Like they kind of strategically took out everybody else and basically left the gimp Chris Jericho and I'd say a half weekly exhausted Hager since he had his match with Wardlow last week match.
That was a slobber knocker.
Yeah. But the whole narrative of it was them trying to take out Chris Jericho and finish the job on his arm, so that way he didn't have to worry about going against MJF. So they held him down. Sean Spears grabbed a chair and was about to go to town. Then I still don't understand why Sammy Guevara's music had to play. Didn't make any sense to me. He could have just ran out there. But either way, his music played. It distracted them for all of 5 seconds. Enough time to just throw the proverbial hammer down on Chris Jericho's arm. I still to this day don't understand that. Music hits, let me stop what I'm doing to look at the ramp so that way I can,
his music's hitting. Let me make sure he's coming out.
Yeah. Right. Instead of just doing the job and then running out after that. Like,
yeah.
Again, that's like the like the movie villain pointing a gun at the hero and be like, you know what? I'm gonna tell you all about my plan before I shoot you. And then
trademark monologuing.
Exactly. But yeah, Sammy comes in for the save, gets a huge ovation.
Oh yeah, Sammy's over.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I'm happy about it because I said that I think around the time when he left Inner Circle, and I said if he becomes a face, he's gonna have a lot of people behind him, and this is case in point. Inner Circle turned face, and Sammy is for the most part the standout as far as the star outside of Chris Jericho.
The face of the faces.
I mean, he's their Kyle O'Reilly.
I like it. He's cool. I can't. It doesn't work. Can't say he's cool. Guevara. No, can't. No, it don't matter. Anyway,
as long as he don't go back to that panda shit, I'm fine.
Hey man,
that was a cool gimmick.
As long as he go back to that panda shit, I'm fine.
Yeah, but definitely got on the mic, cut some shit on MJF. And saying that, you basically say that you're better than everybody else and you know it. Well, I'm going to show you that they say I'm the greatest. He said something along those lines, but I'm the greatest here and you'll know it. Paraphrasing, I have no idea. I can't remember what the fuck he said. But either way, it hit hard for him, and we'll see what happens when they have their match. I think that's next week.
MJF and Sammy, it's next week.
Yeah. Okay.
No.
So,
y'all did airing on a Wednesday, isn't it?
Yeah. Next week is back on Wednesday. Thank God.
Nice 3 days. All right.
Not only on Wednesday, but live on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
that's when they start the road. So they're in Miami then, right?
No,
or are they back? No. They're doing.
This Wednesday is the final one at Daly's place for a while.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
so they'll have fans in attendance. Hopefully, I'm sure they should. I don't see why they wouldn't. But yeah. But from there, we get Chris Statlander and the Bunny. with both Orange Cassidy as well as Blade at ringside.
Statlander, though. Oh, wait, we're skipping over one important thing that we missed. Well,
Which thing?
the Miro promo.
Hey.
I'm definitely getting into that. I'm
Okay.
definitely gonna get into that because I'm gonna
Save that one?
because Pillman's promo was after this match when he had his
Okay.
response. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna get into both of those at once.
Gotcha.
Because Miro, because I mean we can't. The reason we can't
Miro.
forget it is because let me just pull this down here because see Scoot's name implies that we can't forget about Miro at all.
Very true.
So I'm pretty much gonna fly through this match because it is what it is. I liked it, and this not to shit on the women's division at all because I'm not doing that. I just there's a lot more to get into, and this was okay. This was more showy than anything because this seems to me like this was more meant for the segment that happened at the end of this match rather than the match itself. Because you think about Bunny and Statlander, I'm pretty sure you know who's going to go over. It's going to be Statlander because I think they're pushing a narrative of her still being undefeated while being back. So I think that's going to go on for a while. And again, Bunny doesn't really lose anything from losing against Statlander, and Statlander would lose way more by losing to Bunny at this point. So this is mainly meant to set up another feud for Orange Cassidy. And so with him being punched by Blade, and now Scoot can pretty much hate on T.A.G too because they are pretty much officially part of the Hardy family office. So yeah, Scoot was right. He was right to hit on them ahead of time because that's what he wanted. I'm sorry, he didn't want that, but it just happened.
Spoke it into existence.
Yeah, so I mean, because they're doing more work for Matt Hardy than anything else. So yeah, I guess either the pay's that good or they got themselves a nice little contract.
I'm just happy to see them on Dynamite.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And that's who ends up standing tall at the end of this segment. Orange laid out. Poor Statlander got, hit with some kind of collision between Blade and Cassidy. Unfortunately, can't be doing that to Statlander, y'all. Don't do that. I will highlight this though.
That was a nasty bump that she took when Blade jumped both of them.
Yeah, but before that, Cassidy with his celebratory hand raise, nice little, But yeah, I digress. To the good shit now. Motherfucking Miro. Just when I thought that we just pretty much had the bomb mass champion, bomb mass physique, just dominant character, period. He took the stoic route. He took the stoic, snarky route.
Mm-hmm.
Had the cross on the chain, holding it like a rosary. Had the title on the chair, sitting on the chair backwards.
These words.
I'm not even going to go through the whole thing. I mean, basically, he made a prayer.
No, I remember this.
He made a prayer to the Lord. Bomb ass shit. Yeager, if you want to go through it, I'll let you go through it.
No. I mean, I didn't remember the whole verse that he dropped, but the 6 words that were involved were, I want to thank the good Lord for keeping me powerful and my hot wife flexible.
Oh, cool. My thing was his last bar, period. That had me just like, oh. The smartest thing you could have ever done was think about attacking me. The stupidest thing you could have done is actually do it.
You know what that reminded me of? It reminded me of an old Muhammad Ali line he used to say. If you even dream about if you even have a dream that you beat me, you should wake up and apologize.
Oh, oh. Oh.
WWE.
You know you fucked up, right?
Yeah, you know you fucked up, right?
You know you fucked up, right?
Two biggest people they fucked up with. John Huber, R.I.P. and Miro.
People who had ideas, people who had a mind of their own, people who understood their character and themselves better than your writers who don't even know the fucking business. But I digress on that because another company's trash, one company's trash is another company's treasure. AEW is pressing diamonds out of the coal that you left behind. No pun intended on Michael there or Adam. But
or a diamond mine.
Fuck Diamond Mine.
Hey, no, I'll cheers to that. Fuck Diamond Mine.
Hey, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna.
You're right. You're right. We're not gonna do this because this is AEW. But
Malcolm Bivens.
You see, now you kept it going.
But Miro, though, Miro, I'm at the point now with the way that he's doing this shit. I don't even know if I want him to lose. I mean, granted, yes, I want him to take the AEW championship at some point, but I don't even know if I want him to lose this title. I personally
want him to be our first double champion.
No, not even that. I think they need to book this to where he just says fuck the TNT title and just throws it and says I'm going after the world. Like,
ooh.
I don't even know how you would book Miro at this point because of the fact that he's doing such. I'm pretty sure he's all 100% on his own character. I think that he's booking this the best way he possibly can.
Yes.
And again, you can tell even by the line right there that Jaeger quoted. I want to thank you for making my wife so flexible. Ain't nobody write that for him but him.
No, that was all him.
All. So
and then of course the moniker that I'm using, I mean, to call yourself God's favorite champion.
God's favorite champion.
I mean,
whew. That hits way harder. That hits way harder than JBL saying I'm a wrestling god.
Right.
And it works so well because of the fact that he didn't say it. He didn't say that until he went through that prayer. And I was like, how good is this shit?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Look, you want to get in on this?
Like, I mean, no words. And then to double back, and not saying that not saying that Brian Pillman Jr. didn't do a good job on this. He did. It's hard to follow Miro with such but Brian Pillman Jr. has some moxie.
Yes.
You know, and this is the way that they should have done it before. Like they should have done it like this, where it's completely detached from the whole Dark Side of the Ring stuff about his father. They should have done it like this to where it's like, you know what? I'm doing the tag team stuff. Cool. I want to go after singles titles. I want to showcase my stuff, you know, regardless, however you want to do it this way. Make it seem organic and completely natural rather than it seeming like you're doing some type of agenda. So I'm glad they cleared that up and fixed it this way.
I meant to bring this up last week when we was talking about it. The one thing I don't want them to do, I don't want them to make Kip take the belt off of Miro.
Oh, I definitely don't see that. I don't think anybody's going to be behind Kip like that.
Yeah.
I'd like them to, if Kip's going to be involved, I don't really want Kip involved, but if Kip has to be involved, maybe be part of the fuck finish, not necessarily be the guy to take the belt.
Okay.
Okay.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Like he'll have a match with insert name here, and Kip shows up to fuck it over.
AEW, listen to me. Listen to me. AEW. I put my crown on, but I don't feel like doing it because it's not that time. Have Miro be completely dominant. Have him toss that title and say, I want that world title. Do that. And then what you do is you have a tournament, another tournament for the TNT title, so you can showcase the talent that need to be showcased. And you can make a new star without having to sacrifice Miro. Just do it.
God, I want him to be the AEW champion already.
Right?
He's look.
I don't want him to beat Hangman for it though, but at the same time, it would have to go that way. It would have to.
Yep. There is no other choice because you had not to go with the whole going from a heel to a face to another heel. It's just who else at this point? Like right now, if we were months ahead right now and we were booked like this, we had it booked like this, and you had Hangman take the title off of Omega, I don't think there's anybody who has the amount of potential right now who we can look at and say, you know what? That person can take it off the Hangman. That person could be the next AEW champion. Even when I look at the rankings here,
excuse me,
Jungle Boy, Hangman, Jungle Boy, Cassidy, Hobbs, and Darby. None of them I can see taking the title off the Hangman. Maybe Hobbs, judging by the match they had. But as far as momentum goes and character, Miro is the most dominant at this point.
Yeah.
That dude.
Or Moxley for that matter. But again, just like I stated before, I don't see Moxley really being champion again for a long time, if ever, because he doesn't need it. So, yeah. I mean, or you can say Cody, but they're definitely not going to pull that trigger.
No.
I want them to already, though. They're taking too long on it.
And you could say MJF, but right now at this point, before I could say that, right now I can't, because the whole stuff with the Pinnacle and Inner Circle has kind of dropped his stock down a little bit. Yeah, and he hasn't been in the top 5 of the rankings in a long time. So, yeah, Miro,
God's favorite champion.
Yeah, and you can't deny that.
Favorite champion.
And soon enough, it's going to be Khan's favorite champion. But we got to hit this main event, though. This is where you see the polar opposites between the build and then the actual match, because if you look at the build, you would think that they just didn't care about the shit. It was like another throwaway match. But when you see the entrances and the way that the fans react to this, you would think that they built this shit up a year in advance and had a complete, full, just campaign season of fucking build for this match. You would think that everybody's been invested from the story from the get-go. That's not the case.
I'm gonna say this from here on out. AEW and WWE/NXT. If you have a main event title match or just a super main event match, do whatever you have to do for the network so that way they don't have commercials.
Yes. For the love of God.
Do whatever you have to do to where your main event match, especially if it's a mega match. I ain't saying every main event. I ain't saying every title match, but every world title match that's on TV, every blood and guts, title match. O'Reilly versus Cole, whatever. Pay for no commercials. Just pay the money. Because picture-in-picture takes me out of it. The moment between NXT and AEW, the moment they announce picture-in-picture, I tune out.
The thing, that was a sad thing too, because Kenny put Jungle Boy into the fans, like in their lap during the picture-in-picture.
I tune out. Anytime they mention picture-in-picture, I tune out.
And I mean, rightfully so. I mean, I do too. But I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep my eyes glued on the smaller screen on this one, and
that's one of the main reasons why I tune out. Because I'm like,
because it's a smaller screen.
Wait, did because I can't remember. Did Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa, they're unsanctioned? Was there commercials during that?
No, I can't remember.
Yeah, neither can I.
I'm pretty sure.
Because I honestly can't recall. I mean, I think if they did, it's stupid because it's unsanctioned, so it shouldn't matter for the fucking network. But anyway, I miss those feels, especially with old school WWE when they're like, you know, this got a main event and it's gonna be commercial free, so don't go anywhere. You know, just shit like that. It's just, it's not
give
hard.
a level of importance to it.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, you want people to stay tuned. I mean, it's like, I get it. You want people to see the network wants people to see the commercials and the ads and stuff like that. But I mean, when you think about it, it's a commercial break. I mean, I can get up, use the restroom, get up, get something to eat, get up, grab a drink. Not many people are just sticking around to watch fucking commercials. So
right.
To like this isn't the Super Bowl. You know, that's the one time that everybody cares about fucking ads and commercials is a Super Bowl. Not everybody's sitting. Yeah, you know, and you know, all the money that these companies are making, it makes no sense why you can't just say, you know what, we have money here. Let's forego the commercials on this match. You know, on top of that, I don't get why commercials play during any match, because you have it. You can have breaks in between each match. Like, yeah, you have segments and stuff, but you can have segments when you get back from a commercial break and then have a match, however short it's going to be, then have a commercial break after the match. These matches last between 10, 20 to 30 minutes.
I know.
I think with certain shows, I mean, you think about an hour-long TV show. In most cases, those shows are maybe like
44 minutes.
Yeah, about 44 minutes. So it's like, and they're not cutting like every fucking 10 minutes, every 5 minutes to have a fucking commercial break.
Mm-hmm.
So you got 2 to 3 hour shows here. You can strategically place these fucking commercial breaks or place these matches to where they fit in between commercial breaks. Picture in picture is just not the way at all.
No.
At all.
Especially when you have, again, like, I don't know when they're gonna, if it even gets back to that, but you may start having these shows compete against each other, and all you're gonna do is have another Monday Night War situation where it's like, oh shit, commercial break on Nitro.
You know, back in the day, that's what I used to do on Mondays.
Same.
WWF went to commercial, I went to WCW, vice versa. Picture in picture does not make me watch.
Yeah, I don't understand, and I don't.
Who was the first person to do that? Was that SmackDown that started doing picture in picture?
Picture in picture. No.
Was it SmackDown or Raw?
It was Raw. Raw started everything. Those motherfuckers.
No, wait. I think it might have been SmackDown. I think SmackDown when it went to Fox. I think
when it first went to Fox, right?
Yeah, I think SmackDown might have started that picture in picture BS. Because I don't think Raw was doing it.
I think I thought it was cool then because the action was still on the TV, but it still gave me like after it's been here for a while, it's just you've muted out the sounds, you've muted out everything else. If you maybe muted your damn commercials and then kept the action going on your audio, then maybe I'd be still paying attention to picture in picture.
Yeah, because it was a strategic thing to stop people from changing channels, which the inception of it, cool, but it just
like at first I stuck with it. I was like, all right, this is cool, but then eventually, like, ooh, shiny, because this commercial or that commercial, you know.
Well, I think the problem is personally, I'm having my old school wrestling fan mind, the match is not going to end during a commercial break.
Oh, obviously. Yeah.
So that's the reason why I'm like, oh, okay. Like the only time something crazy like that happened was when Kushida and Santos had their 2 out of 3 falls, where I think Kushida got his fall during a commercial break. But other than that, you know for a fact, Jungle Boy and Kenny Omega, their match isn't going to end during a commercial break.
Right.
And Scoot, you're right.
SmackDown?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought it was SmackDown when they went to Fox. Yeah.
Yeah, 2017.
Okay, so no, it was before Fox. Okay.
Yeah, it was
Who did they go to at that point? Was that USA? No, that wasn't USA. That was Sci-Fi?
2017, I think they were still on, might have been still Sci-Fi. No?
Stop, Loki.
They might have been on USA then, I think.
Yeah.
Were they on USA at that point? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, on Tuesday.
I remember that.
There it is. But yeah, all companies stop picture in picture. Please. I mean, if you're gonna cut away, just say fuck it, cut away, or just cut the fucking commercial. You can do it, especially if it's done before. That means it's not out of the realm of possibilities to.
Or even give us like a longer commercial break for that. That way we can have a full-on match or whatever. Like, do what you got to do.
I'd be fine with that. Because I mean, commercials typically last about a good 5-6 minutes. So
depending, yeah.
So I mean, like, hey, yeah, add an extra minute to each commercial, so that way you can say, "Fuck it," let the main event be commercial free. So
and again, not even all the time, just for these big super main events.
Because then, too, in AEW's case, if you pay for their service that they have, I think on Fight TV, you get to watch all of it commercial free.
Really?
Yeah. If you go back and watch the streams of AEW after Dynamite is over with, when they cut to commercial, it's still going with JR and all of them still doing commentary.
That's funky.
I think it's like AEW Plus or something like that. I think you got to get it through Fight TV, and you can watch Dynamite and all that shit commercial free, basically.
Yeah, see, that's sad because I used the TNT app one day. I think for 2 weeks because I was too lazy to hook up my cable box after I had moved. So I was using the TNT app on my TV, and they still have commercials implemented on shows that had already aired.
Really?
And you can't skip those. You can't fast forward through them. Like I found a way to kind of fast forward from one match to another to skip the commercials. But if you mess up and you don't do it, you still got to watch the commercials. It's fucking weird. But why?
But yeah, picture in picture takes me out. But
go away.
Besides that little rant, back to
this
JB,
match,
as they was calling them, JB and Kenny Omega.
The way
JB.
I mean, attention to detail on this match, because normally when you have parents and family in attendance for one of the competitors, you know, you're expecting them to have one, a good showing, and then two, possibly win. Now, of course, it doesn't happen all the time, but in most cases, it used to. Back in the day, it used to a lot. But with this, they made it a showcase. They made it a huge feel. And again, shout out to the motherfucking crowd because it worked. It worked, and they were behind this 110%. And I'm glad Jungle Boy went out first. I mean, obviously, it should always be like that because challengers should always go out first. But from them, like being behind the song and reciting it as it was going on, to just him having the full ovation that he did, all the way to the point where Kenny comes out looking like the final boss in the video game, draped in all his gold, and everybody raining boos on him. It just the presentation on it by itself was perfect. If this match was shit, the presentation still would have been praised by me. But this match was not shit.
No, I kind of hate. I feel like they should have saved this match for one of the theme shows, because then it kind of would have gave a little hope that Jungle Boy could win, just like how Kenny Omega won on Winter is Coming. You know, I kind of wish this would have happened on the Fyter Fest or maybe Road Rager, so that way you could have had that slight hope that, oh shit, wait, could Jungle Boy?
I think this was I think the timing of this match was mainly to boost viewership on a Saturday night.
That makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense.
I forgot that that this was on a Saturday, so that makes sense.
Yeah, that crowd didn't forget it was a Saturday. They said, "Fuck it, we about to make it feel." So, yeah, and I kind of second that. I wish this kind of was on a on a theme show, because of the fact that how this match went and the back and forth that you had on certain points, especially with and I'm skipping ahead a little bit, but Jungle Boy having the reversal on the One Wing Angel, with that reverse run-on, perfect, like a way to again protect the One Wing Angel, and then two to show to boost up Jungle Boy to be like, you know what, yeah, I know I can't beat it, but I found a way that I can actually reverse out of it, so that way I can avoid it, which was good. So go ahead.
Correct me if I'm wrong, man, but I think there are more reversals on the One Winged Angel than there actually are hits. And I mean, that's another way of protecting it, because, you know, it's a devastating move and it takes a while to set up. But yeah, like, from Kenny Omega matches that I've seen, like, he does at least 2 attempts before he gets one off. I don't know. I got to go back and watch some matches. Yeah.
That is a good assessment. But hey, it works and it's still fucking protected.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm glad it is, because it still leads to the fact that, just how we said before.
Wait, hold on. Quick question for y'all. How do y'all feel about that move being so protected?
I love it.
Okay.
I love it for the fact because one with Kenny being champion and what they're doing with him storyline wise, with him being the belt collector and everything, it's
appropriate.
It's almost like, it's like, well, he's a belt collector for a reason, because this one move that he's able to get off and know for a fact it's over with, done with, the finish completely. It gives him that big boss motif, just like I said before, when you get the parallels between him and Jungle Boy coming out and him looking like a final boss. That One Winged Angel is the perfect representation of that, and I don't mind it because of how well it was treated in New Japan.
Okay.
So it to carry on like this it makes sense, and maybe that could be my bias because of what I've experienced through him, being out there and then coming here. But again, that's all to the point of creative control as well. So,
like, I don't know. I like that there's a character out there that is, you can beat the crap out of him, but as long as he gets that one move off on you, that's it.
Yeah.
Makes sense too.
So
that's I guess too, in the One Wing Angel's defense, the way he has to hit it, it's not like taking a claymore or a spear or a stunner. He has to legit pick you up, curl you in, and then so it is a lot of steps to the move.
Do y'all remember an anime called Ultimate Muscle?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Wait, hold up. It was funny because I was talking to Britt about it I think a few days ago, because I was literally talking about, right, because the Rice and Cow song came into my head, and she was asking like where it came from. I was like, oh, it's from Ultimate Muscle. She's like, what's that? So we brought that up, and so it's funny that he brought that up.
Don't forget they made Samoa Joe stop doing the Muscle Buster.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, shit. Well, I think
he hurt somebody.
That's why I bring it up, is because like once he got that Muscle Buster off, it was like that was it. So it kind of reminds me of like old animes like that.
Yeah.
He just has to get that move off and he wins.
Man, now I gotta watch Ultimate Muscle. I was telling myself before, but now I got it. Now I got to go do it. So shout out to everybody else. If you haven't seen Ultimate Muscle, go watch Ultimate Muscle. If you can find it streaming, or if you can buy it physically, I don't know. That's our ad for the day. Go watch Ultimate Muscle. Anyway,
I don't even know if the thing is streaming. I gotta find it now too.
This to me, this is where the Jeff Hardy isms come into play. This match reminded me of the Undertaker versus Jeff Hardy ladder match. And the reason I say that, not for the fact that, Kenny Omega's here and Jungle Boy's here, it's for the fact that just the ovation that Jungle Boy got and the star power that he has potentially.
Yes.
It shows me the parallels as far as like how they looked at Jeff Hardy then and said, you know what? We want him to win that title. We're behind him. And then, of course, eventually he got it years later. But the same thing for Jungle Boy. It's like you have a mountain's worth of people behind him, ready for him to strap the rocket on his back and say, propel him.
Well, remember,
send him to the moon.
Well, remember what I told you that Jim Cornette says their future title picture is Jungle Boy and MJF.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, for
absolutely. Sure. And it's gonna have to be that. I think that's one of the reasons why we're not even putting MJF in the category right now. Somebody who could take the belt off of Hangman, because they're gonna probably take a good maybe year before they even start to scratch the surface on the next era of the main event scene.
Do you think they're going to eventually stop their long title reigns?
Yes. They're going to have to. They don't, because it's at a point right now where you have a lot of people in the company, and it's going to have to, and I think it's going to start with Miro. It's going to start with Miro after he relinquishes the TNT title, because I think that's going to be the first one where you start seeing multiple title reigns from different people. And then you start to see a change in the title pictures on all belts. So yeah, I think that'll be the start, because that's going to be your workhorse title.
Okay. Makes sense.
And I think that's where that's going to start. And then I think from Hangman, probably from Hangman, and then maybe Miro. If that's the way that it goes, Miro will probably be. It's funny. Miro might be the last long reigning champ on both titles.
Damn.
Which would be
I don't know. I kind of want him to be double champ.
They might pull the Ultimate Warrior. And if they do that, we might get both. We might get him winning both titles.
That might be the first time we do a short reign.
But you know what? That might be what I think whoever suggested it, that if he does become double champion, then he'll probably take the TNT title and be like, here. Take that.
I think somebody did do that before.
Keith Lee kind of did it.
That's who it was. Yes, yeah. Keith Lee. Except he didn't do it all. He didn't do it all brash and everything. He kind of just he did it honorably and said, "You know what?
Yeah,
I need to have my obligations to this title, so I'm relinquishing this one. So yeah, but yeah, Miro's not gonna. Miro's gonna be like, fuck this title. I got a better one. I'm good. Y'all can have this scraps. Cool. Go fight over that, which would be dope.
Give it to his flexible wife.
But but yeah. I'm not. Of course, like we said, we're not going to go over this whole match. I mean, yeah, you're the best thing we can tell you to do is go watch it. But
great match.
I will say this,
despite it also having picture-in-picture.
Yeah, despite that, this proved that Jungle Boy is exactly what, one, Cornette's saying, two, what we're saying, and three, the reasons why the fans are behind him is the fact that he has the potential to be a fantastic main eventer in this company, and I look forward to seeing how that turns out once we see that new era of main eventers. And then just shouts to Kenny, for being the champion. I think with the way that this reign is going with him and being the belt collector, this might be the only time he is AEW champion. I think what he's doing, he's basically blowing his load at this one point in time, getting all these belts, having this build and this push, so that way nobody can follow what he's doing.
That was going to be my question. Once the Bucks no longer have these tag belts, once Kenny no longer has the AEW belt, do you ever see them having it again?
For Kenny, no, not at all. Bucks, let's see.
Because currently they're the longest reigning tag champs. 200 days or something like that. According to Brandon Cutler, who was cut off immediately by Nick, it was 200 some odd days.
This is interesting. Let's see. 31 and 36 for Matt and Nick as far as age.
There are already guys in the back.
I will say this. What I think what will happen is that we see a very long gap between them being champions now and them maybe possibly having like a final championship run. And then that being it. So I give them maybe like one more reign.
So the Bucks one more reign, but Kenny no.
But Kenny no. Because it's almost like how do you follow it unless you're gonna have him kind of do the same thing but do it as a face,
right?
But yeah, at this point, yeah, I don't know. I have no. I'm leaning more towards
he
no.
beat Mox's record then?
That is a good question. Because let's see, as far as okay, right now he's at 206 days.
Kenny is?
Yeah.
Damn.
Mox, because he's already beat Jericho. Jericho is at 182. Mox is at 277. So yeah, he's on his way to that.
Let's see, a couple more months, yeah. I think he survives one more pay-per-view. Maybe gets the pay-per-view at the end of the year.
unless they're gonna fast track him and Paige, he's gonna end up beating Mox's record because that's at this point 2 months. In about 2 months. So yeah, if we think about we said the Bucks losing in September, so they might lose all at the same event.
They could. Ooh, and have it all be because of Kazarian?
It could be. Okay, that's who we get. I think we get Christian and Omega, and then we get Omega and Kazarian.
Hangman. Oh,
and then
Omega and Kazarian, then Hangman.
Then Hangman. Because I think this whole Elite Hunter stuff is gonna happen over the next 2 months. So I think that works. And yeah, and I think Yeah, we might get it. We might get it that way. And it would actually make more sense for them to lose the titles all at the same show, because then you could write the Elite off of television for a while all at the same time.
True.
So, well,
And
yeah.
then have them come back in a face fashion or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Because then they can sit back. They can sit back, do the EVP stuff while you make more stars, and they come back and they get back into the picture. So, yeah, I think we do get something.
I'm down with it.
Same, but yeah, Kenny goes over with the One Wing Angel over Jungle Boy. I mean, it's expected. It would be way too soon for Jungle Boy to get that title, because it would be a detriment to him if he did. Because again, this is the future face of the company. Outside of MJF being a heel, you have almost a forever baby face within Jungle Boy. So
yeah,
and especially when you have, I mean, those two, and then you have Darby, who could potentially go both ways. Same way with Ricky Starks and Sammy Guevara. I think you have your quintessential heel and your quintessential babyface in MJF and Jungle Boy, and then everybody else are just outliers that can pretty much interchange and be whatever at any given point in time. So, yeah, that main event picture is promising to me. So,
I like it.
I'll look forward to that shit, but I still want to watch what happens leading up to that point.
I definitely like that. I definitely like that idea of a title picture right now.
Fuck yeah. Now,
well, hold on. I don't know if you mentioned him, but where do y'all think Andrade fits in all of that?
AAA.
Yeah, I think Andrade. Yeah, same thing. I think Andrade is going to end up taking that title off of Kenny, to start to either start or continue the downfall of him losing his titles.
But yeah, he wins against Kenny for the AAA, but he is signed to AEW. He's not signed to AAA.
Mm-hmm. And remember, he did say he wants the TNT and the AEW title.
So what I'm thinking, and this just came to mind, when Miro, bouncing off your idea, Lip, when Miro decides to relinquish that TNT title, Andrade takes that eliminator and then takes the TNT title.
Yep. That's the one person I was thinking that could take that, because you can give him, a 2 to 3 month run with the title. Yeah. And because I mean, even if he loses the title, it's still not bad on him. He can still dominate a lot of stuff, and he can still.
And then that's when Thea shows up. Hopefully she shows up sooner.
Oh, to almost mirror what she did for him in NXT. Oh.
Yep.
Oh. And then that'll put him just like NXT, put him in the world title picture.
Ooh.
That's a lot of good fantasy booking.
I like it.
But we could fantasy book all day. But what we need to do though, is figure out these final thoughts. So I want to throw it to T.A.G's favorite champion, ScooterRay. Any final thoughts?
Personally speaking, AEW was pretty solid. It was pretty good. Guy's favorite champion is starting to become my favorite superstar there. But to say that he was one of my favorite people in WWE. But I am definitely waiting to see how they start to intersect Hangman and Omega. I'm definitely waiting for that. And I'm waiting for Andrade to finally do something and to eventually break from Vicky, but we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Let me throw it to you, Jaeger. Any final thoughts?
Damn it, I lost my idea on piggybacking on Scoot's idea. But waiting to see some flexible women and some manageable women come into the picture. They're only going to bring the women's division into a better light, assuming even one or both of them even wrestle. This was definitely an upgrade from the past couple weeks that we've been watching Dynamite.
Yes.
And hope it keeps going from there. I know that they're finally going to get on the road, so that's definitely going to be a highlight in the coming weeks. Just hope the fans that are loyal to the show up and show out for them.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what? Before you go, Dizzle, I probably realized why this episode was not that bad. It wasn't too much anything to do with Cody and QT, even though I know QT had that little
he did
segment,
have a promo.
but it wasn't a lot of Nightmare Factory and whatever the hell these two damn factions are called.
The
It wasn't a lot of that.
and the Nightmare Factory.
Yeah, it wasn't a lot of that in this show, so that probably
That's
helped.
true.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna give too much flack on QT Marshall. Because I actually enjoyed what he did last night as far as his backstage promo, because it made more sense when he's by himself and he has ambitions to be a champion. That motive makes more sense to me than him just taking guys away from the Nightmare Factory and making a separate faction. Because it did no justice for anybody. But I didn't like when I seen him. I was like, you know what? I understand that. I get that. You don't want to be in the shadow of the Nightmare family. You want to do your own thing, and you feel like they're holding you back because everybody else is stars, and you're just basically being, enhancements for them to boost their stardom instead of yours. So that motive in itself, I'm okay with, and I agree with. So if they keep this going, then I'll be more accepting of QT Marshall doing his thing as a heel rather than this whole just faction warfare between these two uninteresting factions. So yeah. But as far as everything else, top to bottom, matches, the show, the storylines, promos, everything, I enjoyed. Even the ones that are slightly negative in my eyes, everything was good. I hope that from last week to this week to next week, everything continues and they push this same trajectory that they have been with integrating a lot of people that's on Dark and Elevation onto Dynamite to continue it to build these stars so that way you can keep these in fans' eyes and show who the fans are behind so that way you can actually start to push them more rather than just keep everybody on one particular show at a time. So yeah, keep that shit up, AEW. I appreciate it. But that's been our fucking time. That was AEW Dynamite, Saturday Dynamite. I enjoyed it. No problem with the show there. But we got to get up out of here. So Scoot, let them know where they can find you.
Of course, always you can find me on the Scootical. Because when you think you hit the pinnacle, look up. Of course, the ScooterRay on all your socials, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, IG. I think I said Instagram already, but hey, I'm going to say it twice so it sounds nice. But of course, Less Than Stealthy Ninjas. We Ninja Banter Podcast on podcast streaming platforms, Spotify, Anchor, Google.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's where you can, if you really, truly want to find me. Comic Palooza, July 17th and 18th.
Ooh, tell them.
I'll be there in the flesh.
We all will. We most definitely all will.
So,
I may be slightly inebriated. Who knows, man? Birthday shots are going to be all around. So who knows, man? Who knows?
So, but less about me and more about Mr. Bombastic.
Oh,
Let them know. Let them know where they can find you.
It's right there.
Hmm.
It's right there. But I mean, it's more active on the Instagrams, sometimes the Twitters, more on the Xboxes and the PlayStations. So send me an invite. Same name. It's right there.
Absolutely.
Now, if you're feeling whelmed or even underwhelmed by that, and you need someone to cheer you up, take you over to this guy right here.
Oh, me.
Oh
yeah.
Oh yeah, right there.
Yeah, simple. Lip Dizzle, IGs, Twitters, Twitch, all that good shit, TikTok.
Oh yeah, TikTok.
The positivity stuff. It's there's some things that's coming with that. I'm gonna forego that for a second. We'll get to that at another date and time. But you can find the Lifestyle One Up stuff, all your podcast platforms. If you can find it, listen to it, no problem. IG, TikTok, primarily that, YouTube. Spoiler alert for that one that's coming. But I will say this also. Another thing that's coming that is being worked on that these two guys don't know about yet.
Mm-hmm.
We're working on some merch. All the nice little taglines that you've been hearing. No pun intended.
Well, I
all the
know
nice little
now.
taglines that you've been
Hashtag
hearing.
taglines.
You may start seeing that on some merch eventually that will be available to y'all at some point in time. Who knows? I don't know yet, but they got to be made first. But it's being worked on, so look out for that. But
Oh baby.
But until that good shit, and until you see us on the next coming week, because it's going to be a lot sooner than expected, because we just left Saturday. Now we're about to get on another one for Tuesday, and now again Wednesday, which I think we might be on we might end up covering both again, just on one show. We'll see how that works out. But two sweets in my bros right here.
Bada.
Bada bam. And until then, you beautiful mother effers, as always, tag